Hey everybody, it's Zach from Myshire Farm, and we are back again with another video to help you on your journey with Coturnix quail and becoming more self-sufficient. In this video, we are going to be talking about the Pearl from Myshire Farm. So we will be talking about what it looks like, the differences between male and female, average size, all that stuff that we have been talking about. If you've missed a couple of them, we've already talked about a couple of our jumbos, our SSCs and things like that. You can go to our main page on our YouTube channel, Myshire Farm, go to the playlist tab, and under the playlist there is one called All About the Colors, and it gives you a small little video on each color that we have, and we are going to continue to build on that. So I'm very excited about that. Before we begin, please support our channel by hitting that like button for us. We'd really appreciate it. Subscribe and hit that bell for future notifications. We've got Italian Golds coming up. We've got Pansy Fees and Fab Fees and so many more colors coming up for you. So I'm very excited about that. So let's begin. As you can see, the pearls are a feather sexable quail. Now, if you've watched our previous videos, you will be able to determine whether it's a male or female. So this one is that's right, it is a hen because it has the feather markings on the front. Now typically the pearls are gonna have just kind of like a collar rather than all down the chest. The rest of the chest will be white, and that is kind of what it looks like on the back. And she does not like to be turned upside down. So that is the hen. I will show you what the male looks like. There are a couple different features about the male. So I'm going to show you real quick how we hold the quail for them to stay steady enough. So long story short, you're gonna pick it up like normal, and then you're gonna grab the feet and hold them back, and then you're gonna let it down. They're gonna scream for a second, and then their wings are gonna go straight up. You're gonna put your thumb and your index finger underneath each wing. I moved them. And then it pretty much just stays still, as you can see. So, this is the male, and as you can see, it looks very similar to the side. I'll show you the wings. The wings are my favorite part. And then this is a male. We know by two different ways that this is a male. Number one, there's no feather markings on the front. And wow, does not like the camera. No feather markings on the front, and I'm gonna have to hold it in a different way for you to be able to see. But as you can see, the head is very, very dark and very discolored from the rest of it. So that means it's a male. Typically you can see this in about 3 weeks, sometimes about 3.5 weeks. They typically take a little bit longer to feather in, which is most of the very white colors, you know, jumbo whites, pearls, snowies, things like that. They typically take a couple extra days to feather in all the way. But they are feather sexable. That is what they look like. I've got to read my notes. Let's see. They are feather sexable. Average size. So we're going to talk about the average size. These are quite large. They're not considered jumbos yet. We are working on that. I've got another color first that I'm working on. But these are between 9.5 and 10 ounces at full maturity, which is 10 weeks old. And then the egg size is a little bit smaller, so these quail are a little bit weird. You're going to get a smaller egg but a larger bird. Also, the feather markings, the pattern on it, the colors of it are really unlike almost anything else. So they're very, very unique. But the egg size is between 11 and 12 grams, which is a little bit smaller than like our jumbo wilds, which are 14. And things like that. So 11 to 12 grams on the eggs, 9.5 to 10 ounces on the weight of the bird. Now, hatching true. We've talked about it in previous videos. I believe it was the white-winged pharaoh video that I discussed what hatching true means. So if you're not clear, go ahead and watch that video. It's in the same playlist. But it hatches 80% true. So 80 out of every 100 are going to hatch out pearl. 20% will hatch out something else. This one's a little tricky because it's all over the board. So you can get just pure white. You can get Italian and gold Manchurian, which is how we make the pearl, which we will get into in a second. You can get a pharaoh every once in a while in there. And then it can also go back to the original roots, which is the GPC which stands for the German Pastel Collection. And you really can get anything out of that feed gene. Again, it's not very often, 20% of the time you're gonna get some odd stuff, but out of that you could get, German Pastel, Fab Fee, you could even get a Grau Fee, maybe every once in a while you get a Snowy in there, but mainly you're gonna get Italians is the majority of them, but I have seen the other things show up. So, classification of quail. It is a rare color. And then how to get that color. All right, so the German Pastel Collection has a gene in it called the Phi gene. The Phi gene transforms the colors. So by putting the Phi gene with an Italian, it's going to change the marking. So I'm actually going to pull one back out and grab the legs if it'll let me. Feisty. So if you change the colors on it, it would look very, very similar to an Italian. Has the dark head, has the feather markings on the back. Usually this is a rusty brown look if it's a male. So all it does is it leaves the markings alone, but it changes the colors of the feathers. So the Phi gene is that's what that does. So for example, the Fab Phi is a gray and white bird. Well, it's actually a pharaoh with a Phi gene, which changes the coloring. So how to get this color, we started by putting German pastel males with Italian hens. And eventually that started happening. And now we produce pearl to pearl. Now, every once in a while with our breeding program, we switch that up. Sometimes we'll take different types of things and put them in with them for the next generation, so they're not, interbreeding or anything like that. But typically you can put pearl to pearl for quite a while, 3-4 generations before you see anything. And then if you just add a different male or a different hen to it, you can get that out and start all over again. So that's how we get the color. We got the color by German pastel with Italian, and then we started being able to change the feather markings on that. So that's pretty cool. So you could do that. So if you happen to have German pastels, or you could do it with any Phi gene, it just would take a little bit longer. You could do it with the Fab Phis, you could even do it with the Grau Phis. But you'll want the Italians and some sort of Phi gene, and then you'll mix those together, and that will start producing. So average lifespan is 2 years, and the productivity on them is between 285 and 295 eggs a year. So that is pretty much all the information we have as far as the pearl. The pearl, we call it the pearl, P-E-A-R-L. A lot of people will spell it P-E-R-L. A lot of people say that it's the pearl Phi, which I guess would be accurate. We just call it the pearl. So they're very fun to work with. They're very fun to use. We've used this in different scenarios with the Snowies. We've used pharaohs with them to increase the weight, which when we started out, I think, I didn't write it down, don't hold me to it, but I'm pretty sure they were like 8 to 8.5 ounces at full maturity. So we did use the pharaoh gene, or the pharaoh male for a while to increase the size, and then we bred them back together so that they could hatch out pretty true. So they hatch out about 80% true. The goal is to get them to about 85 to 90%, but we're always going to be adding other colors to it so that it doesn't become lethal or doesn't start to have hatching issues or anything like that. So again, as far as interbreeding or anything like that, let us worry about that. We've got a great breeding program here so that doesn't happen. But I think that's all the information for you. I really appreciate you watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to join us every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on our YouTube channel, Myshire Farm. And we will go live to do any questions and answers. At the very beginning of our live Q&A, I let you know what we're going to be doing. I also give you an egg availability update. So for example, we just added the jumbo white-winged pharaohs and the jumbo Egyptians and the sex-links and the pansy fees back onto our website today. And then Saturday, we'll be adding the jumbo wilds back on. Every Sunday, right before the Q&A begins and I start answering questions, I will give you an availability update on when things will become available again. So you can always check that out as well. So again, support the channel, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time. Stay tuned and stay safe.